All right, we've got a subsoiler. We've got the ramps. I've been around to all four corners. Chains are good. Our little exhaust flapper's closed. Stack is tight. Pre-cleaner's tight. The loose seat cushion at the base is removed. Everything else there is bolted. We are brake locked in gear. Good. Ramps are secure so they won't bang. We've hit all four corners. Solidly hooked at chassis and at main supports. Looking very well. Sorry, very good. We almost had it. Welcome back, everybody. We are loaded and ready to head down to the Nowthen Tractor Show in Nowthen, Minnesota. Bringing the Swamp Angel and the Subsoiler, as you all that keep up with the feed have undoubtedly seen already. So we were a little bit slow getting going today because we had a round of severe storms went through last night, so we had to hold off on a lot of the loading and prepping until this morning after it had cleared. So we pretty much had to start from scratch. We're ready to go now, though. It's a little more than 2 hours down there. We need to get on the road. And we couldn't find a can at home that was the right size. That heavy duty bottle cap's going to do the job. So D2 is staged right here with the number 2 ripper. Some of the other Caterpillars are out here. It sounds like we're going to do something on this patch this weekend. So just hoping to get some hours on the D2 tomorrow. Try and work the snot right out of it. Catch up with you all then. Everybody, it's the following day. This is Friday morning. We've got a little bit of activity going on in the dirt work area. Swamp Angel's running right now. Diesel's on the 955. Digger's on the 35 with the blade. John's on the D5 with the Darwood scraper. Rip the topsoil. See if the subsoiler works. Never had it in the ground.
Well, here we are, the maiden voyage, to see what happens. Oh, he jumped her up a gear. pretty good. Even the handle missed the fuel tank. Pretty good lug on her. Well, it's making the old D2 work pretty good. Gotta be careful, a lot of trees are out here, but don't seem to be snagging roots too bad. Yeah, you can hear the old engine lug down when he sticks her in the ground.
Well, even with the radiator blocked off, I'm just not getting it hot enough today. Subsoiler is not enough of a load for it, but it works well. We shined it up. So I'm going to park it today. It's going to be warmer tomorrow. We'll try it then. Let's see what we show though. 6. We put an hour on it today. We're going to try a double push here, see what happens. In other news, they've got the tractor pull going on over there. We'll walk some of the tractor rows here. We got this interesting F20 and it looks like they've set it up to run on propane. Either that or beer. One of the two. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it's propane. Lots of farmals here, internationals. IH is the feature this year. Look at this, Connor from this old farm. He's got his Super M TA diesel down for the show. And the tractor rows just keep going. Here's a very nice early F-Series farmall, F20. 1939 on that one. A very nice 560. This says 1953 IH Super MD. It's got the TA. Yeah, it's got the TA in it. I think this is an SMTAD, really. It may be badged incorrectly. 54 Super H with a wide front. That one's pretty nice. 44H. Again, fixed up very nice. Super C. Super A. Up the other side, we've got Farmall A, 39B, 51 Super C, done up very well. Here's a Farmall C demonstrator, another Super C, wide front. 41H, 53 Super H, very nice. 41M, 53 Super M, that's the same year as seniors. 54 Super MTA, 51 MD diesel, Cockshut 40. Now, is this the 6-cylinder version? Yes, that is the 6. McCormick W4. I would kind of like to have a W4. This is basically the standard version of Farmall H. Same engine, I think pretty much the same transmission gearing. I know they use the same transmission top, but they're a lot lower to the ground. They're a standard wide front. Kind of smaller diameter back tires, but these were made just to be drawbar pullers. I mean, plow pulling machines. A bit of an odd operator's platform in that your legs are so far out straight in front of you, but I think it would be fun to have one of these and pull the two bottom plows side by side with my Farmall H, see if there's any kind of performance comparison. And then here's the W6, which is basically the standard version of the Farmall M. All right, just it's the next bump up in size. You can tell the difference between there and there. Look at that, we've got a Kenny Kizzle sighting. Hey Ray. And right here we've got, I believe it's an F20 on steel. I don't see a model designation on it, but front steel, we've got the skeleton steel, self-cleaning lugs on the back. They sure were proud of that Circle C logo right there, prominently cast into the axle housing. We'll call this one semi-finished, but I like it. I do like it. Love those monster lugs. And right here we've got an International TD6 with a Bucyrus blade. You can always tell the Bucyrus blades. They were, well, they had this typical arch designing. You see a little bit of the old Bucyrus Erie decaling in there. Gas start, diesel engine, but cylinders were the best. They cast a heavy Bucyrus Erie right into the housings on all of them. This one's even got a belt pulley on it too. That's kind of rare to see on an IH. Neat stuff. Now I'm not sure what to think here. This is, I think, a early Farmall regular. It's got the open exposed steering gearing in the front, but we've got a rather John Deere-ish looking set of front wheels, but this is what drew my attention to it. Always be sure to put your drip tray between the leaking carburetor and the exhaust. Otherwise, you could be in for a fun time. Well, that about does it for Friday, everyone. We'll see what happens tomorrow.
Okay, here we have a D4 all painted up in military colors. Got the cable blade on it. Chilifer couple plug / scraper. Heister winch in the back. tripper from the cut just for transport. Now he's going to do a little cut again. That's really a neat piece of equipment there. I love it. Doing a dump. Getting a little bit better spread on her there. There should be adjustments on there for the spread. Yeah, it's getting better. He was kind of putting it in a pile, but the spread's getting better on it. Lots of levers to operate at one time right there.
job.
Yep.
All right, everybody, we made the trip home just fine and everything's offloaded. We've got the entire weekend put away. It went incredibly fast, but it was a lot of fun as well. So after action report, the Subsoiler performed very well. We shined it right up. It's looking very good. And it's also a good thing I put these traction cleats on this wheel, because the initial passes I was making in the grass, this gripped just fine, had no problem operating clutch, lifting it out of the ground. But once we stripped the topsoil and we got down to the fresh dirt, it did skid a little bit between these cleats. You can see we were also ramping up a little bit, so that was taking some of the efficiency out of it. But overall, performed very, very well. And now the old 5J D2, I'm back and forth on it. On the one hand, it ran extremely well and plenty of power, even with these wide 20-inch pads. When we had the gigantic grader on behind this, and I told them to load it up. We knew it was too big for this tractor, but I was in first gear just clawing for all it was worth, and they had the moldboard a couple times loaded up with material to the point that it was spilling down the back. And I never powered out. Even when these started digging and I started getting full bite across that grouser, it still just wanted to keep on chugging. So that I was really happy about. I was still not able to get it up to temp enough to clean up the exhaust, and I've still got a slight steady flume coming out the stack. So I know the rings are still not seated. And even with the cardboard that I had on the front and the warm weather, a couple of times I was able to get it to where I could start seeing the black smoking and burning off of the pipe, but it just wasn't a continuous enough load. I would like build a perfect amount of heat under an aggressive cut, and when we get to the end we had to raise the blade, lose the material, and then do like an arc back around. And then if you had to stop and wait for a couple of other people that were making passes to clear the way, at that point I lost the heat, and then we would just barely build it back by the end of the following cut, and I just couldn't keep a consistent enough load on it to get the heat up where I needed it. So the first weekend in October, weather permitting, we've got another rather large plow day coming up locally here, and I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring the 5J and I'm going to hook onto the largest tandem disc that we have there and just run that thing on on the edge of overheat. We're not going to boil it or anything, but we're going to have to get that hot and keep it there for 2-3 hours straight anyway. See if that does it. I have a feeling that's exactly what it's going to need. But all in all, the Nowthen show 2023 was a lot of fun. Talked to a lot of people once again and made some new friends. Everything went very well. So thank you as always, everyone, for watching. We'll do it all again next year.